Greetings, Ariski Daoud from Arisk LLC and the North Africa Journal. Today is the 4th of November 2024, and here is my take on U.S. policy in Africa. Africa has been a low priority for virtually all U.S. administrations, be they Republicans or Democrats. It's true that Donald Trump has been a more belligerent and more vocal about his positions on Africa, but clearly even Democrats have shown limited to no interest in playing a more effective role in Africa. In the ongoing campaigns for the presidential election in the United States, well, we've noted that neither candidate mentioned Africa in a convincing way. None of them prioritizes Africa in their foreign policy agenda and pronouncements, and that clearly highlights an ongoing trend of limited focus on broad general African affairs. Here are some key points that I can think of on this issue. Both France and the United States have been working really hard to reassess their military presence and strategies in Africa due to the recent geopolitical shifts taking place here and there in various parts of the continent. And clearly the difficulties that these two countries are facing in terms of their strategy, in terms of adapting and adjusting their strategies to these geopolitical changes. Their focus has always been almost exclusively on counterterrorism, though France has other agendas as well. We're now seeing a smaller French military footprint with a drastic French troop reduction, except for the country of Djibouti. I also happen to agree with a growing number of American analysts who work for US-based think tanks that the effectiveness of Africom, that is the US Africa Command military branch that covers sort of the African continent, should be questioned. The overall strategy of prioritizing what's called kinetic counterterrorism efforts may have reached its limits. It's now more about helping to establish the conditions for what should be long-term stability through non-military means. Now, from an independent observer perspective, Africom has been essentially appointed to act as the main actor of US policy in Africa. There has to be clearly a bigger role for economic development and for what I would consider stability promoting initiatives rather than just direct military engagement. In the current geopolitical context in Africa, US forces have been somehow a little bit disturbed by evolving politics there. The forced withdrawal of American troops from Niger has intensified a debate that's ongoing here within the United States about the necessity and location of American bases in Africa. The future of the US military presence in countries like Chad is also uncertain, as some American forces were temporarily asked to leave. The fact is that there is little substantial difference between Democratic and Republican approaches to Africa, with continuity in strategies regardless of the administration. We recognize that minor adjustments have been made here and there, such as Trump's troop withdrawal from Somalia, which Joe Biden eventually later reversed. So while core interests remain the same, there may be superficial changes in how military presence is presented. The Biden administration, impacted by the Niger setback, may sort of reconsider a strategy similar to France's, emphasizing a more flexible, less visible military footprint. And Kamala Harris's administration, if she wins the election, may align with this approach. What will Donald Trump do is eventually completely unpredictable.